Okay, I thought I'd just make a quick video, just in case you're having some trouble or anything. I'm just gonna go to File, Import, and I have it saved in my Downloads folder. Okay, just this quick anime head. I found this one online. I feel like this model I think has been kicking around online for 15 years. Whoever made it. Okay, so here we go. You can see it imported. This thing doesn't have any eyes in it, and it's a little small. That happens a lot of times when you're importing or exporting, since the unit setup might be different in this than whoever made this in used, or whatever game engine they were using. You can change the size again here. It's probably too big now, but yeah. It'd be nice somewhere in the middle, huh? All right. I will say, once I'm changing the size gets weird in 3D. So, especially when you're dealing with animation. So, now that I've changed the size using scale, I actually need to reset the X forms, which basically means reset the size. And you just come over here to the little wrench and click Reset X form and click Reset Selected. If you go to your modifier tab, you'll see the Reset X form thing. But I can just right click and convert this back over to editable poly and collapses it, and we're back to being ready to go. Scaling does a lot of weird stuff with animation because it doesn't actually change the size of something. It just adds a multiplier to the size of it and mathematically is calculating it basically like the whole time. So all of the animation stuff we're doing is based on the information of the location of individual vertices. And so scaling does weird stuff. We want to make sure everything's reset if there's even a possibility any scaling is done. Okay, so here you go. Here you can see our model. You can, if you want, I could make some spheres here for the eyeballs if I didn't want it like staring at me with these empty sockets. Not necessary, but why not? Just put them in here and have something so it's a little less creepy, huh? Oh, I was going to freeze that, not hide it. Sorry. So I think I need to go like, find the right spot. Let's copy it on over to this one here too. All right. Freeze my head, and there we go. Now it's got some eyeballs in there. All right, so here's our character. Still nightmare fuel, but it's fine. So for the Morpher, it doesn't really matter what model you're using. It doesn't have to even be a head. Anything will work fine for this thing. Let's see. I'm gonna do wireframe. I'm gonna do edge faces actually. Default. Oh, wrong button. Edge faces, just so you can see the dots. This head's kind of complicated. That's not going to really matter for what we're doing, but the lower resolution your head, the easier it is going to be. So, just a heads up. A bit of a pun. So I'm going to make a copy of it. All I did was hold down Shift and drag it over. You can go up to Edit and Copy. This tends to be easier because I already moved it over. I can also set the number of copies higher, let's say 5. I want to do copy, not instance, and not reference, right? Copy, this will make each of these heads their own thing. And you can see now we have all of our spare heads. I'm going to grab the first one here, and I'm just going to go to the modifier tab, and I'm going to give it a name like happy. I'm going to grab this one, give it a name like sad. You could also do mouth shapes if you were doing like animation and you're trying to match it to make somebody talk. There are different mouth shapes called like phenoms that animators came up with back in the day for animating cartoons. So you could actually make the mouth shape for that. I don't know. I got happy. I got sad. I got open. We'll do one that's closed. We'll call this guy sleeping. All right. So Is it entirely necessary you label them? No, but it makes it easier. So I'm going to go to my vertexes. So for this, what you're going to do is you're going to need to actually manipulate the location of the vertices. Now, I said before, we can't cut a hole in it. We can't delete one. We can't remove one. We can't add one in. It's looking for the exact number of vertexes and the number that each vertex has, like their special name. So basically what we're going to say is we're going to grab some of these and we're going to move them. And then we're going to be able to animate from the original position to the new position. Or any of our other positions as we make the other heads. So let me go ahead and just grab one of these. This tool I'm using is soft selection. It basically allows you to select all the kind of elements within a range. For this, it's going to work out really well because I'm going to be able to move up the corner here, move up the other corner here. That's pretty good. Well, move this up a little more. And maybe I'll move this down a bit. Until we got our happy face. Alright, looks great. Let's come over here to our sad face. We're going to do exactly the same thing, basically. Grab our next one, go to vertex, turn on use soft selection. Again, the fall off set to 20, so it's going to be a bit high. So we're going to shrink this down. And we're going to make this sad. Now, sad's going to maybe be a little harder for us to get right, but it'll be good enough. Our little character's looking pretty distraught. So we can make as many adjustments as we want, and we move on. Now, I'm going kind of quick, so keep that in mind. You could spend a lot more time on this, making the shape look a lot better. I am going quick on purpose because, you know, I don't want this video to be too boring. Here you can see this is going to be hard, so I want to make the mouth open here. But I really don't want it to grab the top if I can help it. So I'm just going to grab a couple of these vertices. I'm not caring if it's like exactly, you know, the most thorough and round shape or nothing for this, but again, the more time I spend on changing the shape, probably the better it probably would look. Alright. Oof. Ugh. I say that I end up with that. Holy smokes. Let's just grab all of these. Alright, looks like it's going to be a lot harder than I anticipated to make this work, so let's try a different method. I'll set the fall off a lot higher. Go ahead and grab the areas around the mouth here. I'll just do it all at once. After all, I'm just trying to go in for an open mouth. I'm not like trying to get anything too tricky, complicated, or fancy. You know what I could do? Let's do this. Let's see if this will work. Maybe we'll pick that one. I feel like maybe not it's going to work, but let's see. Loop. Nope. No, not for this mesh. Okay. The triangular shape of this mesh is not playing as nice as I wish, but that's okay. We'll get it to work good enough. So here I'm trying to make the mouth open a little bit more. Again, It might require a little bit of tinkering to get be better, but I'm gonna say if we get good enough, we get good enough. You know what I mean? Wish it was a little more smooth in here. All right, not the best open mouth shape, but whatever. Okay, again, I don't want to make the video 4 hours of me fiddling with this dang old character's mouth. Here we're going to basically try to do the opposite and close it. Hopefully that proves to be a little less challenging. Good enough. And got one more to go. Although after the struggle that was, I'm tempted to not worry about it, but I've committed. All right. Try to see if we can get a somewhat serviceable eye closed look to it. Oh well, that's weird as heck, but it should demonstrate our Morpher well enough. All right, it's going to be vastly different. Okay, so now we've got basically I've got my multiple heads, and they're all different, but I didn't cut them or change the geometry other than literally moving the location of individual vertices around. We can turn off edge faces too. Now I'm going to grab this. I'm going to add the Morpher modifier. And again, the Morpher, first of all, it checks for the number of vertices. So even if two vastly different objects have the same number of vertices, I'm going to do air quotes, it'll work, but it'll be a nightmare. So you don't want to do that. Hold on just a second here. Let's load that in. All right, so now what you can see is I have these sliders. Each slider could be animated. All you gotta do is turn on auto key and go further in your timeline. It can be animated. But you can see here is the closed mouth. Here's the happy mouth. Here's the open mouth. Here's the sad mouth. Whoop. And the sleep, which doesn't really look like sleep, but more of a weird eyeball thing. But what's cool is you can combine these, right? So I can do closed and smile. I could do, again, and open to get totally different looks. So you can see now here's this weird shape face we got because I'm combining all these different things. Again, drop that down, happy down. Again, I can turn up. It's supposed to be sad. It says sand. I hurried. But again, we can play around. I can close it and do it. Now, you do sometimes get weird things where things clip through when you start combining faces. Again, it adds that math in. So if it moved it down 6, it'll add 6. If it moved it left, it'll move it left. And they do kind of add up. So you can't even have open and closed on here and start to get some weird faces and things. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, obviously I flew through that pretty quick. The longer you spend making your faces look good, the better it'll look. But again, all I gotta do is turn on auto key and I can start animating this character. Oh, they were so upset. Like, I'm not upset. What? Oh, you're upset. All right, so you can kind of see. Hopefully you find that helpful. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. All right. Well.